Congratulations on your purchase of a new ProVape, one of the finest personal vaporizers on the market today. So you've ordered one. You have waited patiently or not so patiently for it to arrive, and you've finally received it. Now what? This tutorial is designed to give you all the information that you need to correctly operate your ProVape, from batteries all the way up to taking your first vape. By default, the standard ProVape uses the 18490 battery. If you've purchased an extension cap, you can also use the 18650 battery for extended battery life. The ProVape Mini uses the 18350 battery by default. With the extension cap, it can also use the 18490. There is no difference in function or power between the ProVape Standard and the ProVape Mini. The only difference is the vape time you'll receive from the different batteries, ranging anywhere from several hours to a day or more. To charge your batteries, insert them into the charger with the positive side facing the top of the charger and the negative side facing the spring-loaded section of the charger. The LED indicators on the charger will be red while the batteries are charging and will change to green when the batteries are fully charged. Once fully charged, remove the batteries from the charger. To install a battery in the ProVape, first remove the bottom cap. Now insert the battery with the positive side going into the tube and replace the bottom cap. Use of the extension cap and the larger battery will replace the need for the standard cap. Insert the larger battery again with the positive side going into the tube and screw on the extension cap. How will you know when to charge your batteries again? Don't worry about it. The ProVape itself will let you know when to charge your batteries by flashing the activation button. This is its low battery warning indicator. With continued use from this point without charging the battery, the indicator will flash faster and the unit will shut down until you charge your batteries. For best possible performance, ProVape does recommend using IMR high drain batteries in the ProVape. These batteries provide a higher power output than non-IMR batteries, which is required by the ProVape circuitry. You can use non-IMR batteries, but the ProVape could mistake that lack of power as a dying battery and shut the unit down. Remember to never use a flat top battery or magnets in the ProVape. Either could damage the unit. Also remember that rechargeable batteries don't last forever. When they stop taking a charge, replace your batteries. All the batteries seen in this tutorial are AWIMR high drain batteries and are available on the ProVape.com website. Now that we have power, it's a good idea to become familiar with the menuing system on the ProVape. This is where you access information and change settings on the device. To access the menu, press the activation button 5 times. This will put you into the menu. Menu items include power up, power down, power on and off, check battery, atomizer ohms, and LED on and off. If you miss the item you're looking for, don't worry. Keep pressing the button and the menu will round robin back to the beginning. All of the information and settings are accessed the same way. Once you find the menu item you're looking for, release the activation button and in about 2 seconds, the setting for that menu item will be displayed. You can now adjust that setting if it is one of the adjustable settings, or you can see the information. To increase the voltage, access the Power Up menu item. Wait 2 seconds for the setting to be displayed. You can now use the activation button to increase the voltage in 0.1 increments. You can also hold the activation button to have the ProVape auto-scroll through the settings. Once the ProVary reaches its maximum setting of 6 volts, it will automatically round robin back to its lowest setting of 2.9 volts. Once you have your desired setting on the display, release the activation button. Once the display goes blank, your setting is locked into place. Decreasing the voltage on the ProVary is very similar to increasing the voltage. Select the Power Down menu item and wait 2 seconds. You can now decrease the voltage in 0.1 increments. As with the Power Up feature, you can hold the activation button and the ProVary will auto-scroll through its settings. Once the ProVary reaches its minimum setting of 2.9 volts, it will automatically round robin up to 6 volts. When you have your desired voltage on the display, release the activation button. Once the display goes blank, your setting is locked into place. The ProVary can be powered off to prevent misfiring from things like travel or storage. To turn the ProVary off, access the Power On/Off menu item. Select the Off setting. Once locked in, the ProVary will no longer activate. To turn it back on, select the Power On/Off menu item again and change the setting to On. In addition to the low battery indicator, you can also check the status of your battery's charge anytime you want. To see the status of your battery's charge, access the Check Battery menu item. The ProVary will display the current charge status of the battery. This is an information-only menu item. The ProVary also has the ability to display the resistance level of the cartomizer or atomizer you're using. To demonstrate this, we're going to screw an atomizer onto the ProVary. And don't worry, we're getting to this soon enough. To check the resistance level of your cartomizer or atomizer, select the Atomizer Ohms menu item. The resistance of your attached device will be displayed. This is an information-only menu item. And the final menu item allows you to turn the activation button LED on and off. To turn the button LED off, select the LED On/Off menu item. Then select the Off setting. The button LED will no longer light, but the ProVary will still fire. To turn the LED back on, again select the LED On/Off menu item and select the On setting. It all may seem a little overwhelming at first, but with a little practice, you'll be flying through the menus in no time. We're getting closer to taking our first vape. When you ordered your ProVary, you may have ordered it with either cartomizers, atomizers, or both. In this section, we're going to talk about the differences between the two and how to use them. Both atomizers and cartomizers contain heating elements required to vaporize the e-liquid. Typically, an atomizer will last longer than a cartomizer, but it requires more frequent filling. The atomizer can receive its e-liquid via a cartridge or by direct dripping. To use the atomizer with a cartridge, you first need to make sure that the atomizer has a bridge. That's the small metal piece in the middle of this atomizer. The bridge is used to direct the e-liquid out of the cartridge and into the heating element. Some atomizers are made specifically for dripping and they don't have that bridge. If the atomizer doesn't have a bridge, you can't use it with a cartridge. To fill a cartridge with e-liquid, drip the liquid directly into the filler material. You may need to wait a few seconds between drips as the filler material absorbs the e-liquid. Once the filler material is fully saturated with e-liquid, place it on top of the atomizer. Give the atomizer a few minutes for that bridge to do its job and wick the juice out of the cartridge and into the heating element. Now screw the atomizer and cartridge onto the ProVape. Let's check the resistance level of this atomizer. This atomizer has a resistance of 2.2 ohms. This would be considered a low resistance atomizer. Low resistance devices work best at 4.2 volts and lower. Let's start with 4 volts. We've loaded our cartridge, we've checked the resistance of our atomizer, and we've set our voltage. It's time to take our first vape. Nice. The voltage recommendations you see in this video are just that. They're recommendations. You can adjust your voltage up or down to suit your preference. Increasing the voltage could potentially increase the vapor, flavor, and throat hit you receive from your e-liquid, but go too high and it could taste burnt. There is another way to use an atomizer, and that's direct dripping. For that, we're going to remove the cartridge and replace it with a drip tip. The drip tip allows you to easily drip e-liquid into the atomizer and makes for a more comfortable mouthfeel. Direct dripping is exactly what it sounds like. You drip your e-liquid directly into the atomizer. A few drops should do. You can get several puffs off of just a few drops of e-liquid. Once the flavor starts to change, drip some more into the atomizer. Direct dripping takes a little bit of practice to get used to, but once you have it mastered, you'll be greeted by some of the best flavor you can get from your e-liquid. Now we're going to take a look at a cartomizer. You can consider the cartomizer to be the atomizer and cartridge all in a single unit. The cartomizers don't typically last as long as atomizers, but they do have the benefit of requiring less filling. Less filling than the atomizer and cartridge, and obviously far less filling than direct dripping. To fill the cartomizer, first remove the small mouthpiece that comes installed on it. This cartomizer has filler material surrounding a center core. The center core on this cartomizer contains the heating coils and is also the air path. To fill the cartomizer, leave the rubber boot on the bottom while filling. Add approximately 25 drops and let it slowly soak into the white filler material. You may need to wait a while between drops to allow the liquid to soak in. Using thicker e-liquids will make filling more difficult. Filling is complete when the filler material is fully soaked with e-liquid. Our cartomizer is now full, but before we put this on the ProVape to see what the resistance is, let's first clear out any e-liquid that might have gotten into that air path. So we'll remove it from the boot, clean off the bottom, and then gently blow into the mouth side with the connection side aimed into your paper towel. Clean it off again, and that clears out your air path. Now there are several other methods for filling cartomizers. We've presented just one. Find and use what works best for you. It's also recommended to use a drip tip for the cartomizer as well. They make refilling a lot easier than using the included mouthpiece, and they make for a more comfortable mouthfeel. Screw the cartomizer onto the ProVape. Now, let's check the resistance. This cartomizer has a resistance of 2.8 ohms. That would be considered a regular or normal resistance cartomizer. Regular or normal resistance cartomizers or atomizers work best at 4.4 volts and up. Let's set the ProVape for 4.5 volts. Your cartomizer is full, we check the resistance, and we set the voltage. Let's have a vape. Some of the biggest issues you'll run across when vaping either a cartomizer or an atomizer is either too much e-liquid or not enough e-liquid. If the flavor tastes burnt or dry, you can try refilling your cartridge or refilling your cartomizer or adding more drops to your atomizer if you're direct dripping. You can also try bringing the voltage of the ProVape down. If you're getting very little vapor and experiencing a gurgling sound when you're taking a puff, you could be using too much e-liquid. This is also known as flooding your device. If you're using a cartomizer, try blowing the air path out. If you're using an atomizer, you can use a similar method to blow some of the excess e-liquid out of it. With a little practice, you'll be vaping like a champ. We hope you found some of the information in this tutorial helpful. Remember, you can find the full ProVape manual right here on the ProVape.com website. Thank you for watching, and we hope you continue to enjoy your new ProVape for many years to come.